In the headlines of this hour on VTV News, National Assembly discusses human resource development. Danang aims to become key national and international logistics hub. And in a world news, Yemen's HOUTHIS to keep blockade on Israeli vessels.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam, VTV News starts right now.
Good morning. It is currently 8 a.m. local time and you're tuning into 30 minutes of VTV News. I'm Lin Lei with the latest updates. Now on Monday morning, the National Assembly held a plenary session to evaluate the results of the Socio-Economic Development Plan for 2024 and discuss the proposed plan for 2025. Despite the complex global situation in 2024, deputies noted that Vietnam's socio-economic landscape has achieved significant progress. They attribute the success to the party's leadership, the National Assembly's decisions, and the government and Prime Minister's dynamic management.
Implementing the late President Ho Chi Minh's ethical model, we have focused on strengthening the border area and fighting to dismantle transnational crime networks, maintaining stability in the region.
Deputies also propose measures to promote growth in the coming months.
Domestic consumption has rebounded strongly, growing by 8.8% in the first 9 months, but it's still below pre-COVID levels. We need policies to support consumption, like tax reductions, and encourage people to prioritize Vietnamese products.
In addition to addressing challenges and bottlenecks, National Assembly deputies are placing a strong emphasis on combating waste and ensuring resources are available for development.
General Secretary To Lam's article on combating waste accurately describes the current situation, identifies the causes, and suggests several solutions. However, some officials still take the issue too lightly. They've treated waste as just a minor problem to address rather than recognizing it as a serious threat to society.
As the General Secretary mentioned, innovation is key to development. We need to focus on legislative activities that establish a clear framework. It's essential to ensure objectivity in documents and avoid group interest. We should continue reviewing and accurately identifying bottlenecks. We need to understand our responsibilities without overstepping or neglecting them, as outlined in the constitutions.
Continuing Monday's National Assembly discussion sessions, deputies proposed solutions to achieve socio-economic development goals with a focus on education, vocational training, and human resource development. More to follow.
Addressing limitations in vocational training, deputies propose measures to tackle these challenges and meet the country's future development needs.
It's essential to encourage business involvement and update vocational training programs to meet market needs. Additionally, enhancing credit support for young entrepreneurs can create jobs. Initiatives to develop the economy and address employment in remote rural areas are also crucial.
District-level vocational and continuing education centers face significant challenges. We hope relevant regulations will be amended to remove bottlenecks and explore innovative organizational and management models.
Deputies propose quickly removing obstacles hindering the establishment of training facilities and universities capable of developing high-quality human resources.
We need to update training programs for lecturers and students in semiconductor entrepreneurship. Policies should attract young scientists and experts to the field and promote collaboration among universities, businesses, investors, and research institutes to improve training quality and practical application.
the Ministry of Education and Training, and the Ministry of Labor, Invalids and Social Affairs stated that they are implementing solutions to enhance the quality of education and vocational training.
We need to analyze the challenges in training human resources for FDI enterprises and enhance planning and proactive measures to meet their needs effectively.
Key issues include developing effective policies to attract high-quality human resources to the public sector. University training should prioritize scientific research and autonomy, while vocational education must focus on flexible cooperation among schools, businesses, and the state, especially in business connections.
At the session's conclusion, National Assembly Vice Chair Nguyễn Đức Hải reported that 59 deputies shared their views and seek engage in debate. The National Assembly Standing Committee will ask relevant agencies to consider these opinions and incorporate key points into resolutions for deputies to review and approve.
At the invitation of Chinese Premier Li Qiang, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính will attend 3 important summits in China from November the 5th to the 8th. The 8th Greater Mekong Subregion GMS Summit, the 10th Ayeyarwady Chao Phraya Mekong Economic Cooperation Strategy ACM-ECS Summit, and the 11th Cambodia-Laos-Myanmar-Vietnam Summit. This series of meetings provides an opportunity for leaders to discuss future directions for sub-regional cooperation and promote more comprehensive economic and investment partnerships.
The Greater Mekong Subregion encompasses countries and territories in the Mekong River Basin, including Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, Myanmar, and China's Yunnan and Guangxi provinces. It covers about 2.6 million square kilometers with a population of over 333 million. The series of summits bring together these nations, which share strong traditional ties with Vietnam.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính visit to China aims to convey key messages to the subregion, the region, and the international community. Amid unprecedented global economic changes and urgent needs for green and digital transformations and sustainable development, the Mekong subregion must pursue breakthroughs to meet new development challenges.
At these events, leaders will address traditional topics like economic growth, trade and investment facilitation, infrastructure connectivity, the sustainable management of cross-border water resources, as well as new issues.
Vietnam, as a downstream country, the most downstream country, has a special place. And I think in the cooperation, not only with Mekong Lansang, but also Mekong River Commission, Vietnam has always been the champion of stronger cooperation between upstream and downstream countries.
Greater Mekong Subregion cooperation is highly significant for Vietnam and its member countries, as it promotes trade among them. This mechanism also fosters connections between countries and extends links with external nations, particularly within the ASEAN bloc.
New areas of cooperation will strengthen collaborative mechanisms, enhancing the Mekong subregion's position in regional and international value chains.
To prepare for the European Commission 5th inspection, Deputy Prime Minister Thanh has issued a directive calling for the focused implementation of urgent measures to combat illegal, unreported, and unregulated or IUU fishing. After 7 years of combating IUU fishing and 4 previous inspections by the EU, the Deputy Prime Minister is determined to lift the yellow card status. He has instructed the chairpersons of the People's Committees in 28 coastal provinces and cities to personally lead, oversee, and appoint dedicated managers for IUU fishing prevention, including on-site inspections. The Ministry of Public Security is tasked with reviewing, investigating, verifying, and thoroughly addressing acts that facilitate IUU fishing violations in foreign waters. The Vietnam Railway Authority has submitted a proposal to the Ministry of Transport for the appraisal and approval of the Lào Cai, Hanoi, Haiphong, Quảng Ninh Railway Line Plan. The entire route will stretch over 447 kilometers, passing through 10 provinces and cities, namely Lào Cai, Yên Bái, Phú Thọ, Vĩnh Phúc, Hanoi, Bắc Ninh, Hưng Yên, Hải Dương, Haiphong, and Quảng Ninh. The railway will begin at the connection point with the Chinese Railway in Laogai Province and end at Gailan Station in Hạ Long City, Quảng Ninh Province. The investment required for this railway line is estimated at nearly $7.7 billion. Danang City's project to enhance logistics services aims to connect with the Central Key Economic Zone and the East-West Economic Corridor from 2021 to 2030, with vision extending to 2050. The focus is on modernizing and developing logistics sustainably. Several large-scale projects, both underway and in the planning stages, are creating growth momentum and positioning Danang as a key national and international logistics hub.
Danang plans to build 5 main logistics centers, covering a total area of 229 hectares. These include the Liên Triều Port Logistics Center, Hoa Nhơn Logistics Center, Railway Logistics Center, Danang International Airport Logistics Center, and High-Tech Park Logistics Center.
Logistics infrastructure is a key focus for promoting investment and construction in Danang, supporting the growth of the marine economy. The city has identified the most favorable locations for developing these centers.
Danang also prioritizes transport infrastructure development. Recently, the city opened the 19.5-kilometer Danang Western Belt Road, linking the city's transport network to the Central Highland provinces.
Upon completion of the Western Beltway Road and National Highway 14B expansion, this route will serve as the main axis in the city's western area, significantly reducing transit times for goods between the north and south.
The National Assembly has approved Danang's pilot of the Free Trade Zone, which will be connected to Liên Triều Seaport and Danang International Airport.
The Free Trade Zones offers more favorable policies than current ones, aiming to attract increased investment in industrial and logistics sectors, as well as in high-quality trade and services.
Resolution 43 of the Politburo aims to establish Danang as a major socio-economic center in Vietnam and Southeast Asia. To achieve this goal, the city will prioritize resources for logistics development and attract investors to enhance its logistics infrastructure.
Coming up next on VTV News. Prolonged heavy rain persists in central region. Later on, vibrant tapestry of tradition in the heart of Hoi An. Moving on to other important updates, the central region is experiencing prolonged heavy rain due to intensified cold air and moist easterly winds at high altitudes. From Monday to Tuesday night, Thanh Hóa and Nghệ An will face moderate to heavy rain, with rainfall between 50 to 150 millimeters, some areas exceeding 200 millimeters. The area from Hà Tĩnh to Quảng Ngãi will see heavy to very heavy rain until the evening of November the 6th, with rainfall of 100 to 300 millimeters and certain areas surpassing 500 millimeters. There is a risk or high risk of landslides on mountain slopes and flash floods in small rivers and streams. Flood warnings are in effect for rivers from Hà Tĩnh to Quảng Ngãi and will likely cause flooding on low-lying and riverside areas. The people of the central region recently experienced severe flooding in late October and are now preparing for potential future floods. Both the residents and local authorities in Quảng Bình have learned valuable lessons to better respond to upcoming flood events.
This is what remains after severe floods hit residents of low-lying areas in Quảng Bình province. Damaged property and many household appliances submerged in water.
Learning from this flood experience, when we hear flood and storm forecasts, will prioritize family evacuation. We'll first move heavy belongings and seek help from others to relocate to higher ground.
In addition to property damage, the floods also caused extensive damage to agriculture, transportation, and irrigation systems. 7 people died, the highest death toll in recent flood seasons.
We must be more resolute in our evacuation efforts. We need to regularly inform residents to take a more proactive role in flood and storm preparedness.
Given the current complex natural disaster situation, authorities must develop appropriate solutions. However, people's proactiveness is crucial in minimizing human casualties and property damage during upcoming floods.
After recent tidal surges exceeding alarm level 3, the Ningyo Wharf area in Cần Thơ City experienced localized deep flooding. In response, the city has implemented several temporary flood prevention measures. On Monday, the water level on the Hậu River at the Cần Thơ City Hydrological Station reached 1.92 meters, 2 centimeters above alert level 2. Despite this, many residents were still able to exercise comfortably in the Ningyo Wharf area thanks to sandbag barriers and an elevated retaining wall. The height of the water barrier in this area has been raised to 2.5 meters, helping to limit overflow from the Cần Thơ River into Ningyo Wharf. Nearly 2 months after devastating floods, Coldwater fish farmers in Sapa Town, Lao Cai Province continue their efforts to restore affected farming areas. Heavy rains following Typhoon number 3 in mid-September caused significant losses for 120 fish farming households in Sapa, destroying nearly 500,000 fingerlings and over 100 tons of commercial fish. Local authorities are working with banks to implement interest rate waivers, reduction and loan support to encourage farmers to resume operations. In the long term, the local government plans to establish a centralized cold water fish farming zone to minimize the impact of future natural disasters on farmers. To build the Long International Airport, Dong Nai Province had to acquire land from 7,200 households. These families were relocated to the Lộc An Bình Sơn resettlement area, which is fully equipped with public facilities such as schools, markets, and other community spaces. To help relocate residents stabilize their lives and earn a steady income, local authorities have provided vocational training for young people and created job opportunities for displaced workers.
Quân and many other teenagers in the Lộc An Bình Sơn resettlement area are pursuing vocational training programs at a public college of technology.
Local authorities have encouraged young people in the resettlement area to study at this college. After we graduate and the airport becomes operational, we'll have good job prospects there.
Authorities have provided specialized job training to young people. Additionally, they are collaborating with local companies to offer jobs to relocated residents.
I was a farmer in Cam Duong commune. Since I relocated to this area, I have been working for a paper company. Now I can earn a stable income. My monthly salary, monthly allowance, and TET bonuses are much better. My life has changed.
Dong Nai authorities have coordinated with Airports Corporation of Vietnam, Saigon Ground Services, and Linema 2 Technology International College and industrial parks to provide job-related training aligned with the recruitment needs of enterprises.
Relocated residents have faced many hardships after they handed over their land for the construction of Long Ton International Airport. It would be disheartening if relocated workers became unemployed after moving to the new place. I hope the operation of the airport will generate new jobs for relocated people.
Dong Nai authorities have prioritized job-related training for people of working age, including older workers, to help those affected find better jobs and maintain stable livelihoods in their new location.
Robotic surgery for various types of cancer has been continuously implemented at K Hospital, with esophageal cancer being the most recent addition to their list of treatable gastrointestinal cancers. Recently, doctors at K Hospital, supported by French specialists, performed minimally invasive robotic surgery on a 42-year-old patient with stage 2 esophageal cancer. The patient underwent extensive lymph node dissection in 3 areas while preserving vital thoracic organs, resulting in less trauma, faster recovery, and fewer complications compared to traditional surgery methods. The successful application of robotic in esophageal cancer surgery paves the way for optimal treatment opportunities for other gastrointestinal cancers as well. Nestled in the winding alleys of Hoi An's ancient town, where the rustling sea breeze mingles with whispers of traditional culture, lies a small shop named Heart, a name that echoes heart in English. True to its name, born from the passion of those who cherished tradition, this place breathes new life into age-old weaving crafts of ethnic communities. Here, old items are reborn, given fresh purpose and meaning.
As you step through the time-worn wooden door, you're transported into a vibrant world of colorful brocade fabrics adorned with diverse patterns. Each item at Heart is a meticulously handcrafted piece, woven by skilled ethnic artisans from various regions. These creations carry the unique cultural essence of their origins.
Currently, we are working with 8 ethnic communities. We provide market insights, such as identifying what we believe our customers will appreciate. This allows us to collaborate with them from that initial idea, helping them create products that are more accurately aligned with market demand.
Every piece tells a story. Whether it's clothing or whether it's a statue, I think what's incredible is that with these ethnic minority tribes, the quality that they produce is higher than anything I've seen anywhere around the world. Foreigners that travel to Vietnam, that's what they want. They want to learn the stories and the history and the meaning behind, what they see.
Born from a passion for Vietnamese craftsmanship, Heart is not only a place that preserves and cultivates artworks rich in the cultural heritage of Vietnam's ethnic communities, but also revives old items, breathing new life into them.
I love the culture of Vietnam and the way that different people work their art. I was a teacher in the past when I was working, so I'm very interested in other cultures and the food and the art and the way that people's lives is reflected in their work.
Born from a passion for Vietnamese craftsmanship, Heart is not only a place that preserves and cultivates artworks rich in the cultural heritage of Vietnam's ethnic communities, but also revives old items, breathing new life into them.
For example, we repurpose wooden fishing boats into wooden statues. And we also use woven bamboo to create unique home decor items. What makes Heart special is that nearly every product we create is one of a kind. Heart resonates with heart. And I believe that everything we do here is driven by a genuine passion that comes from the heart.
Coming up next in our world news. Yemen's Houthis to keep blockade on Israeli vessels. And later on, Japan launches defense satellite on new flagship H-3 rocket. Now moving on to our world news, Yemen's Houthis announced on Sunday they would maintain their maritime blockade against Israeli vessels, citing intelligence information about Israeli shipping companies selling assets to other firms. According to Yahya Sarria, the group's military spokesperson, many Israeli-affiliated maritime shipping companies are selling their assets and transferring ownership of ships to other companies. The Houthis declared they would not recognize these ownership changes and warned against any collaboration with these firms. Sarria added that the Houthis would continue their naval blockade on Israel, targeting any ships belonging to, linked to, or heading to Israel. He emphasized that the blockade would persist until the siege on the Gaza Strip is lifted and the conflict in Lebanon ends. Israel has not yet commented on the Houthis move. Japan launched a defense satellite on its new flagship H-3 rocket Monday, aiming to enhance military communication and operations as part of the country's efforts to strengthen its defense capabilities. The H-3 No. 4 rocket took off from the Tanegashima Space Center on a southwestern Japanese island. The Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency reported that the mission proceeded smoothly, with the satellite successfully placed into its intended orbit. The 63-meter H-3 rocket is designed to carry a 6.5-ton payload, with the agency targeting a reduced launch cost of as low as $33 million. The Japanese government plans to launch about 20 satellites and probes with H-3 rockets by 2030 for domestic use. The H-3 is scheduled to deliver a lunar explorer for a joint Japan-India project in 2025, as well as cargo spacecraft for the U.S.-led Artemis Moon exploration program in the future. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has announced plans to double funding for Britain's border security agency and treat people smuggling gangs like terror networks. This move aims to stop migrants from crossing the English Channel in small boats. The British government intends to increase the UK Border Security Command's two-year budget from $97 million to $194 million. This money will fund high-tech surveillance equipment and 100 specialist investigators. Starmer stated that the gangs behind irregular migration pose a serious threat to global security. The British government will apply its counter-terrorism approach to these gangs. More than 31,000 migrants have made the perilous crossing of one of the world's busiest shipping lanes so far this year, surpassing the total for all of 2023. Lake Orit, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that straddles North Macedonia and Albania, is home to around 200 unique species. It serves as a significant tourist attraction and revenue source for North Macedonia and Albania. However, the lake is now at risk from pollution, overfishing, and urban development.
In its 2024 report earlier this year, UNESCO warned about the poor quality of real estate development around the lake and over-tourism around the coast. It also warned both North Macedonia and Albania that measures to address existing threats and prevent new ones have not been put in place.
Some research indicates that the situation in the lake is deteriorating irreversibly, mostly due to the entry of various nutrients from diverse sources, including municipal wastewater, agriculture, and industry. On the other hand, tourism, particularly mass tourism, adversely affects the lake.
The capacity of the collector system, constructed in the 1980s, is unable to satisfy the current demands of the region. We acknowledge that rapid urbanization is happening within the city and the municipality of Orit, coupled with the inadequate capacity of the collector system to manage all wastewater and refuse from households.
Local authorities say investments in the sewage system, built in the 1980s, are needed as it can no longer handle scores of tourists who flock to the lake as a cheaper alternative to the sea.
Throughout the years, the pollution levels have varied. However, persistent sources of pollution remain, particularly the rivers that flow into Lake Ohrid, including the Sateska, Koselska, Daljani, and Grashnica rivers, along with several smaller tributaries.
Environmentalists warn that rivers flowing into Lake Ohrid and smaller coastal settlements are constant pollution sources.
Up next is the weather forecast. And that is all that we have for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can visit our website, our YouTube channel, or download mobile app VTVgo for more. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.